beauties, welcome back to my channel. Last month in October I did a ghost makeup tutorial and that one was definitely kind of beginner friendly. It was very easy to achieve by anybody. So today I thought I would do something a little bit more challenging and a little bit more creative. Last holiday season I did a present look and that did so well on my Instagram. Everyone loved it. So I thought that would be the perfect look to share with you today. So if you want to learn how to do this look, keep on watching. Now before we get started with the actual makeup process, there is one step that you need to do first. And that is make this little hair clip prop. To really complete and finish off this present look, I like to add a bow to my hair. I got this one at Target. Last year I had a red one that was kind of small, and this year I was like, you know what, let's go bigger and better, and I picked literally the biggest one they had. What you need to do is get a little clip and hot glue it to the back of the bow. You can also hot glue the bow to a headband if you would prefer that. And once that is hot glued, you have a little bow hair clip. We're going to start out by using an eyebrow pencil and sketching out where we want our normal makeup to be. A little diagonal shape from the top of my face down to my chest, but you can do whatever kind of shapes you want. Now in this space, we are just going to do my normal base makeup. I'm just starting by priming. My favorite primers, the Tatcha Silk Canvas and the Milk Hydro Grip. And applying some foundation. My skin has been getting drier recently and I usually use the NARS Soft Matte Foundation. I love that one, but because my skin has getting a little bit drier, I have switched to the NARS Natural Longwear Radiant Foundation. Now it is totally normal for your skin to change and have to switch up some of your makeup products to adapt to the way that your skin is. Especially during the change of seasons. Don't worry if you go outside the lines, we're going to clean that up with a makeup wipe once we are done. Out my concealer, powdering, just lightly bronzing where I would normally bronze. Applying a little bit of highlighter and lightly filling in my brow. Now because I'm going to do pink wrapping paper, I'm going to do a neutral pink eyeshadow look. And for that I'm going to use the 35XO palette from Morphe. Just dipping into You Up and putting that in the crease. Deepening that up with Matte on Line. And applying Your Move on the lid. Doing the same thing on the lower lash line and applying across the room in my inner corner and brow bone. Just applying some mascara. I am using the Maybelline Sky High and I'm just going to apply a super light lash. This is the Lily Lashes in the style Lavish. Now lastly, to finish the normal face part, I'm just going to be adding some lipstick. I'm going to be using my favorite nude, Oh She's Single, from Patrick Ta Beauty. The normal face part is done. We are going to move to the actual present part. I'm going to put my hair back. Start on the present look, we are going to be blocking out our eyebrow. I know that sounds scary. I'm going to be walking you through the whole process. So for this, you're going to need an Elmer's glue stick. From powder, I am using the Mehron Color Set powder. I love using this powder for creative looks. It is really like thick, which is great to set cream products in place and also gluing down eyebrows. You're also going to need some type of eyebrow spoolie. I got this one from the lash company Velour and I like to use this side. You are also going to need some makeup wipes. To start this, you are just going to take the glue stick and rub it all in your eyebrow. Go every direction, up and down, back and forth. Get it nice and coated. Now take your brush and brush the brow hairs straight up. You want to brush them up because that is the place where they lay the flattest. And this is the only step where we're going to be using this brush, so make sure you really get them nice and flat. And don't worry, this comes out very easily. I was very worried about that the first time and scared that my eyebrow hairs were going to fall out. But if you just use a makeup wipe and rub a little, it will come out super easily. So you can also use the other side of your spoolie and press them down, making sure they are super flat. As the glue starts to dry, it starts to get clear. Once that is flat, you can touch it and see that it is super smooth. You can even use your finger to push up a little. I'm going to do another coat of glue. Now when you are doing this coat, make sure that you are pushing the glue stick up to keep the brow hair sticking up and straight. So I am pushing the glue up, pushing it straight up so the hairs stick up nice and straight. I like to do a couple coats of this. I will add some glue, let it dry, do some more glue, let it dry, and then do some more glue. So that is somewhat dry. I'm going to add another coat and let that dry. I typically do 3 or 4 coats. So I just added the last coat and pressed it with some setting powder. You want to make sure you do that immediately after the last coat. And just wiped it away. And if you have any extra makeup that you don't want, you can just go around the brow once again and clean it up. It's definitely scary at first, but once you do it a couple times, it will become super easy to get the hang of. So now I'm just going to go back in with my eyebrow pencil and about a finger width away from where I put that first line, I am going to draw a second line, creating that ripped wrapping paper effect. And this is going to be painted white. Now with this, you want to make some sections a little bit thicker and some a little bit thinner so it really looks like you are unwrapping a present. Once that is done, I'm going to start creating my color base. Now for this, I'm going to be using this palette that I got off of Amazon. This is the Athena Cream Makeup Palette. I like using creams to get a super full coverage, even base. And you can also mix to make your perfect color. I'm just going to be mixing on this little paint palette that I got at the craft store. These are great to mix different makeups on. And you can get a big pack for super cheap. Just scraping some product out with my palette knife. I'm just mixing both shades of pink and a little bit of white to get the perfect color that I want. And to get a nice, even, smooth base, I'd like to take some of my product, taking my palette knife and applying some product all over my face, and then using my finger to blend that out. Using your finger really helps disperse the product evenly. You don't have to get perfectly in those lines either. We can clean that up with a little makeup wipe later. And then just taking a clean beauty blender and blending that out further. And you can even add a little bit more product on this if you need to. That definitely helps around the chest area. I find that this technique, using your fingers and then the beauty blender, gets it the smoothest. Now, I like to kind of pose how I am going to be posing in my photo. I typically kind of, I don't know, like do like a little turn angle, and I like to do that to make sure that you can't see any of my skin. I turn a little bit more this way usually in my photos, so I'm going to need to add a little bit more right here to the back of my arm. That is looking pretty even, so I am just going to go in with some powder. Once again, I love this Mehron powder. I just like to press the powder in with a beauty blender, and then I will wipe away when I am all done. And just wiping away that powder now. Now I'm just going to take my makeup wipe and wipe away where that pink got into where my white is supposed to be. Now just taking my Mehron Paradise paint palette. But you can use any white water activated makeup. And for water activated palettes, I like to use paint brushes. You can get a pack of these at the craft store for super cheap. Filling all that empty space in. This is where the look really starts to come together and you can really see the effect of the wrapping paper. Now that I have colored in the white part, I'm going to add a little bit of shading. And I'm just going to be using my Morphe X James Charles palette. Also, I will be using the Jeffree Star Cremated palette, using a flat packer brush and adding some gray and creating some shadows where the folds of the wrapping paper are. So once I have added the shading to the white, just using a light gray and blending that out, I'm going to add a little bit of shading to the pink to add some definition. Okay, so my camera battery just died, so I took a little break, but now I am back and I'm going to finish the look. So I'm just going to take a small flat pucker brush and a darker pink shade. And I'm just going around the whole white part to add dimension. And I'm just lightly blending that out. Now I am done with the shading and I'm going to go ahead and add my gold. This is the Mehron Paradise Pink and this is just the gold one. I'm going to start adding the dots. And I'm just spreading them out all around my face, trying to make sure that they are not in any sort of pattern. To create these dots, I'm just using a paintbrush once again. And this is the finished look. I think this turned out so good. I definitely think it is a step up from last year's. If you enjoyed watching this video, you can subscribe down below and make sure to hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. If you recreate this look or do a look inspired by this, make sure to tag me on my Instagram at BeautyByBreegan. Guys, so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!